If I can have members of council to please take their seats, please. Okay, members of council, please take your seats. I will call this meeting to order. Would you please stand for the national anthem? Please remain standing for a moment of silence and personal reflection. Thank you. Members of council, this special meeting of council has been called for the following purposes: to consider a report from the city manager and the director of employee and labor relations on the results of a collective bargaining negotiations with Toronto Civic Employees Union Local 416 CUPE, and to introduce and enact a confirming bylaw for this meeting. Members of council, this is a special meeting. Under council's procedures, no other business such as notices of motion may be introduced. This rule cannot be waived. I will now call upon the mayor to introduce item CC 14.1. Mayor Tory, you have a motion to introduce the item.
Madam Speaker, and just with a few very brief comments, but I move that we consider item CC 14.1 today at the special meeting of the City Council. And I'll just begin by on behalf, I'm sure, of members of City Council, expressing our commendation and our gratitude to both the negotiating teams for the Local 416 as well as for the City of Toronto for arriving at this moment that allows us the opportunity now to take an agreement that they entered into that has been ratified by Local 416 and to consider it here, hopefully, for ratification this morning. I think it fits, well, first of all, within the mandate that the bargaining team for the City of Toronto were given by the Labour Relations Committee, but also fits within the context that I have talked about, among others, on behalf of the City and speaking with the media and the public about this, namely that it is a deal that is fair for the workers who do such good work and perform well for us on a day-to-day basis, as well as being fair to the citizens of Toronto, the people who, in the end, we are responsible to and who, pay the bills, as I say. I think that's not to put too fine a point on it. I think one of the things throughout these negotiations of this deal now that's before us for ratification that we focused on is the fact that yes, there are things we would like to do for and with our employees, but at the same time that has to be taken within the context of the city's finances and where we find ourselves, and I think beyond that the finances and the situation in which many individual taxpayers and citizens find themselves. And so I think that this deal achieved by the two bargaining teams achieved that balance and shows that when there was a degree of patience and persistence and that people sat there and kept negotiating until they arrived at this agreement, that can be done. And so I really, in obviously commending this to you, will in particular commend everybody that was involved in this, the Labor Relations Committee chaired by the Deputy Mayor and all the members of that committee who helped to formulate the mandate, and then subsequent to that, the two bargaining teams, and we will hear from some of them, I think, shortly with respect to a presentation on what was achieved, but it does take two to resolve a matter like this in the manner that was achieved here, and I hope we will give it an absolute, ultimate positive disposition today, and look forward to those discussions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All those in favor? There's no presentation. Okay, Councillor McConnell?
Madam Speaker, I'd like to declare
Okay.
a conflict of interest.
I will announce it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, I was.
Yeah. All those in favor of the introduction of item CC 14.1, all in favor? Opposed, if any, carried. Are there any declarations of interest on item CC 14.1? Please put your name up. Request to question staff, please. Okay, Councillor McConnell.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and good morning. I'd like to declare a conflict of interest. The nature of my conflict is that my daughter's spouse, father of my two granddaughters, works for the Water Department. Thank you. And is a member of 416.
Thank you. Councillor Karygiannis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to declare an interest. My daughter works for the city, Parks and Rec, and part of 79, but I feel that it's prudent that I recuse myself as she's part of CUPE.
Okay. All right. Are there any petitions at this time? We will now review and confirm the order paper. Once the order paper has been approved by council, any change will need a 2/3 vote. We will recess for lunch between 12:30 and 2 p.m. We are scheduled to meet until 8 p.m. tonight. All those in favor of adopting the order paper? Opposed, if any, carried. Members, we have the following materials before us today: a report from the City Manager and the Director, Employee and Labor Relations, and 3 confidential attachments. I expect that Council will wish to meet in closed session. Following the closed session, we will proceed with the debate in accordance with our usual rules. We will start with public questions of city officials. Then we will proceed to debate in the order that members request to speak. Deputy Mayor Minnan-Wong, you have a motion to recess to meet in closed session.
Just, can we make sure that, do people have questions in camera? If not, we can just...
Yep, they do.
They do? Okay. The council recess its public session to meet as committee of the whole in closed session to consider CC 14.1, results of collective bargaining negotiations with Toronto Civic Employees Union, Local 416 CUPE, the reason for confidential information, labor relations and employee negotiations.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Opposed, if any, carried. So we'll have a 5-minute recess so the public can vacate the council chambers. Okay, members of council, this meeting is now resumed. City Council has completed its closed session consideration of item CC 14.1, head of results of collective bargaining negotiations with Toronto Civic Employees, Union Local 416. No motions were made during closed session. We will now proceed to the public debate on this item. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions? No? Do we have any speakers? Okay. Deputy Mayor Minnan-Wong to speak.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just happy to support the report. I hope members of council do so as well. This is taking us some time to get to this point. This process has been going on since October. I think we've got a fair deal that's fair to the taxpayers and that's affordable to the taxpayers and it's fair to our employees. I would like to thank our bargaining team. They've been doing a massive amount of heavy lifting behind the scenes. So that's Bob Reynolds in the back there and Dara, who we all know. And specifically some of the folks that we don't always see. Garth Knox and Tracy Wallace, our lead bargainers. Marco De La Rosa, Daphne Nistas, Vanessa Santos, Lisa Suriani, and Ashley Tran. So they were the key people here that helped us get to the agreement, and also members of the Labor Relations Committee who helped form that mandate. We've all worked very, very hard to come to this point. I think we can be proud of this deal for the next 4 years. It's a good deal, and we should all be supporting it.
Thank you. Are there any further speakers? Okay, Mayor Tory, last speaker.
Well, simply again, Madam Speaker, thank you to reiterate my thanks because the Deputy Mayor thanked the members of the bargaining team, the people who are both staff and people who have assisted us with that, and I want to thank him and the other members of the Labor Relations Committee. And again, to simply reiterate that when there are always in these negotiations, and I experienced it in my previous life, some difficult issues that have to be dealt with, but when people come and sit down and are persistent, and it did take 5 months, and it wasn't easy, but in the end, both sides, and I in particular make mention of the fact that the people in 416 sat there and with us, and we stayed there, and we got this done, and I too hope that all members of council will support a deal that is seen not only by, I believe, the people, but is seen by the members of 416 as being fair and balanced, which is what we set out to try to achieve. And so I thank the members of the Labor Relations Committee, in addition to those on the team that the Deputy Mayor mentioned, and commend this agreement to all the members of council. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, on the recommendation, recorded vote.
Councillor Perruzza, please, and Councillor DiGiorgio.
The item carries unanimously, 36 in favor.
Councillor Carroll, you have a motion regarding absentee.
Thank you. Yes, Madam Speaker. That City Council excuse the absence of the following councillors from the February 29th, 2016 Special City Council meeting. Councillor Anna Bailau, Councillor Raymond Cho, Councillor Janet Davis, Councillor Rob Ford, Councillor Michelle Holland, Councillor Giorgio Mammoliti, and Councillor James Pasternak.
All those in favor? Recorded vote.
Councillor Perruzza, please. Councillor DeGiorgio and Councillor McMahon. Councillor DeGiorgio, please.
The motion to excuse absentees carries unanimously, 36 in favor.
Councillor Holliday, you have a motion to introduce the confirming bill.
I do, Speaker, thank you. That leave be granted to introduce a bill to confirm to the point of the introduction of this motion the proceedings of Special Council Meeting 14 on February 29, 2016.
Thank you. Shall leave be granted to introduce this bill? Recorded vote.
Councillor Perruzza, please. Councillor Perks. Councillor Lee, please.
Councillor Cole, please.
The motion to introduce the confirming bill carries unanimously, 36 in favor.
Shall this bill be passed and declared as a bylaw? Recorded vote.
Councillor Kelly, please. Councillor Perks.
Councillor Cole, please.
Councillor DeGiorgio and Councillor Perruzza, please.
The motion to enact the confirming bylaw carries unanimously, 36 in favor.
Okay, this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, members of council and the staff. Okay, members of council, as far as your confidential material that you have, if you could give them to the clerk, please, before you leave.
If you want. If you're not holding on to it, right? It's not mandatory.
Yeah, it's not mandatory, but it will be a good idea. To the clerk? No? Oh, okay. Just stack them up in front of me.
Sorry.
Makes things a lot easier if you give them back. Thank you.